All right. Hello, everyone. This is the Shy of Six podcast. This week we have a special edition of the show as we pass through the first relevant holiday since we started recording the show. Love and hate, temptation and love. We're covering it all as we jump into this week's episode. So, first things first, I wanted to welcome a first-time guest, Juan Luis Espino Loaiza. A ton of names, but we just call him Luis usually. I call him Juan. And we have basically my co-host at this point.
Basically.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler's sort of been on 4 out of the 7 episodes.
Yeah.
So I think he deserves a promotion, really.
Probably.
You're not getting paid, obviously, but...
No.
No, not until we get monetized. So I'm asking our audience to create, 900 more sock accounts so they can get our account monetized. Yeah. And you know what? I think we are getting sponsored actually by
Ace Hardware.
Slim Jim. It's good. It's good. Right about now, I'm gonna ask Brody to play
Ace Hardware
theme song. You know the
Ace is the place.
yeah. Because it's unironically a bop.
Yes,
It's
it
really good
really
actually. So we've been doing this for a month now. So I mean we're basically experts at analyzing media, pop culture. That's us. Juan, you're still a newcomer.
Yeah, no, I'm an expert too. What do you mean?
Oh well, no. You're gonna prove your mettle on this episode. You're gonna show us that you've got what it takes to be on a fucking podcast. Even though we've got 2 brain cells collectively that we're rubbing together. So anyways, what did we do this week? We watched Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know how I convinced you guys, but we came to decide that watching this movie that was designed for 9-year-olds was a great use of our time and money. So we collectively spent $50 to support this Sonic movie franchise because I thought it would be fun to give this movie negligible publicity by reviewing it on our show. So I sort of want to talk about the precursor to this movie because all signs pointed to this movie being an absolute disaster. Do you guys remember when they first released the trailer for this movie?
Yeah, the scary hedgehog. Yeah.
Yes. It fell into what they call the uncanny valley. Just looked a little too human, not enough hedgehog. It was gross and disgusting. I think the eyes, the mouth, it was just very off kilter. So the studio behind the scenes, I forget what they're called. They said, okay, people hate this. We're going to take this and we're going to work on this for a couple of months. Because I think they announced this movie in August, September, way back last year. And they took 5 months. They obviously worked on their product and they've got something to show for it now. We went from something that would have been an unabridged disaster to something that I think some of the people in this studio kind of unironically.
Yeah, it went from trash to polished trash.
Polished trash.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
polished turd. We
yeah.
love those.
Shiny and.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts going into this movie? Obviously, we at first last year you would have said, okay, it's gonna be a garbage movie. But considering they took the time to polish this movie to appease their fans, I think our expectations were sort of raised because they obviously wanted to start a franchise here.
They really did. I mean, honestly, when I was walking in, I was like, this movie's gonna be kind of trash. I was like, I don't know. I'm expecting it because then Davis over here saying not only once but 2 times is Sonic floss in this movie. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And so I was expecting it to be kind of trash, but in the end, it wasn't that bad.
See, I was really wanting to see this the day it came out, Valentine's Day, because I knew it was going to be spoiled for me on Twitter the day after. I saw this meme online. It was Sonic not only flosses once, he flosses twice. There's a 2-minute Olive Garden commercial, and dude, I was so hyped to see this movie, but for all the wrong reasons. I thought it was going to be a dumpster fire. So what's your opinion? What were you thinking going into this movie?
I mean, I was definitely expecting it to be a very, very bad movie because I don't know how good a movie can be if the first time around the audience that it was intended to be for went, nah, we're not watching this unless you change it. So that wasn't the best, but once they redid it, I was like, okay, now it's at least watchable. So I guess that's kind of after
Sonic does look a lot more watchable. He's very comforting now rather than scary.
Yeah. I
Actually, never mind.
I was sort of still, taken aback by, Sonic. I think that it was all in the nose, really. The nose is what
It was so pointy.
I know.
Like a toe on his face.
Yeah, it looked just like the video games, except like not in 16-bit like we're all used to. It's in like high definition CGI, flesh and blood.
Oh,
So, I want to talk about our experience at the theater now because I went to this like right after I had my teaching fellows interview. So I went directly from the Burns campus in my suit and tie, ready to review this movie with a notepad and everything. And I got there at around 12:30. So I was there half an hour before you guys got there. So I was just this suited up guy that was waiting outside at the movie theater, just like kind of adjusting the collar of my suit. I was getting really strange looks. People probably thought I was a hitman. So that was nice. That was something that I really enjoyed. I also saw that there was like a line of like 36 people, like 30 plus people just waiting in a single file line to see this movie. Did you anticipate so many people seeing this goddamn movie?
Well, I told you, I think it was like the night before we went, I was like, they're about to get $50 worth of money for this whole movie because of us, because they're about to walk into this thing. So no, I was not expecting it. I thought only us was about to pay money to see this movie. But when we walked in, no, there was this giant line. I got there before Juan did, and so I was with Davis. And there was this giant line. I would say about 30 plus people in it. It had kids dressed up as Sonic running around taking pictures.
Dude, that kid, like, unironically, though, cutest thing. You
Yeah,
should have
it
seen this
was.
kid. This kid was like, gotta go fast. Do. Arms behind his back, like Naruto running. This guy,
God.
yes. Yeah.
He was really into it. It's dedication.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get to see that because I got there a little bit later than both of you. But when I got there was like, I guess they opened up the other windows, and there was still 3 lines with like 7 plus people in each one, and I was just like, wait. And then when we were actually getting the tickets, I saw that like the entire thing was almost full. And I was like, wait, I thought this movie wasn't that, like, greatly anticipated. Why are there so many people here to watch it?
And the weirdest thing about it was the most of people in line was, like, older adults. Like, teenagers and, like, older adults. And, like, there was, like, a couple kids here and there. And, like, when we got in the movie theater, there was quite a bit of kids. But, like, I would say about 60%, like 60-40. 60% was, like, teenager, 40% kids. Like, it was really weird.
It is weird. Okay, the weirdest thing, I saw, like a couple crawling out of like a Kia Soul. These people must have been in like their mid-30s. Yeah. Like some lady with like a butch cut, kind of a raggedy t-shirt crawling out with her husband probably, and they step into this line and they start like excitedly, I can't wait to see Sonic. This is gonna be great. It's hitting all sorts of demographics. So you're hitting the Zoomers, you're hitting the millennials, and we saw some boomers at the theater too. So it's really great. We were spanning all sorts of. And here's the thing though, because the day before, my breakfast table, when I talked to people about this movie, 9 out of 10 people said they were going to see this movie. Now obviously I hang out with a different sort of people. I hang out with a lot of weird people. But the fact that there were 9 people that were going to see this movie, period, says a lot. I think it's indicative of a larger trend in society where we're willing to consume worse and worse content, and we just don't give a fuck anymore, which is encouraging. So that was us going into the theater. We got our tickets, buttered up some popcorn, and we stepped in for the ads. And there was a lot of children's ads. Guys, they're making like a 5th Despicable Me movie. Like
No. Correction. It's a Minions movie.
Oh, my bad. With Baby
Groot.
Baby Groot. They've got Baby Yoda.
Is in the past. It's Baby Groot now. That's what it is.
I hate how companies are doing this now. They cynically like produce these baby versions of their product. Baby Yoda, Baby Peanut. Oh, Baby Groot. I hate it so much. It's so corporate and disgusting.
It is.
But we got bombarded by all these kid ads. You could tell that the movie was definitely designed for us.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got to the movie. So I wanted to take a moment to talk about the plot and story. because there's a lot to digest here. So how exactly does this movie open up?
So, you want to start?
Yeah, so the movie starts off with Sonic. You see this blue blur running across green, like just the typical Sonic stage, Green Hills.
No. You're wrong. Because you
Wait.
start in the city of
you're
San
right.
Francisco.
Oh my gosh.
He's racing through the streets of California, and Dr. Robotnik is chasing him around with his creation. And freeze frame. You might be wondering how I got in this situation.
Let's rewind it real quick. And then
They
rewind.
really pulled that. They
It's
really
rewind
pulled
time.
that, dude. So that's how the movie really started. And then we get to the
And
greenhouse.
then,
Yeah.
And then where I was saying, you see the little blue blur running around, and then when it zooms in on Sonic, you see just this disgusting little baby version of
There we go,
Sonic.
Baby Sonic, we love baby product. Ooh.
Oh no, but it was I don't know. I was very uncomfortable staring at the baby version of Sonic because he did not look like just anatomically correct. It was not fun to stare
His
at.
feet were bigger than his head. Like, this kid
It
was so weird.
Oh, tiny
Not-
torso.
Zero proportion.
As he was running across the Green Hills, he goes into this cabin with this like owl, and he calls her Obi-Wan, but I don't really understand what that was.
Dude, the cultural references, they were all
Yes.
out of place. It was kind of atrocious.
And so the owl says, "Hey, don't run, or they'll see you." And he's like, "Nah, they didn't see me, but
I'm
they
too
did."
fast.
Yeah, they did. And so the owl has to like fly him out of the little hut, so that the little these people chasing them start shooting arrows at him, so they have to like run away. And so the owl actually gets shot, and then basically throws Sonic through a ring, and then Sonic was too slow and couldn't save his owl.
So,
Flash cliche.
dude, recounting this, it's even worse than
Yeah.
actually watching
Even
it in the
worse than
theater.
watching it.
Yeah. So Sonic couldn't get through the portal, and now he's on Earth. So he wanders through Montana, and he has no friends. It's so sad.
No, he does have friends. They
But
just
they
don't
don't know.
know. he's
They don't
there.
know. He takes on this stalker persona where he's just like behind everybody at all times, and he's just like,
no, he's not a stalker. He's just invited to places. They just don't know he's there. That's what it is.
yeah. And he becomes like literally insane. Like he's talking to himself. Do you remember that scene where he's just like the therapist? He's talking
Oh
like,
gosh.
now what would you say is your problem, sir? I did not like.
He even played baseball by himself. All
Yeah.
the positions, defense and offense. He played it all.
Outfield, everything, and it was so uncomfortable watching this because it was just like he had so much solitude. He was like going insane, and he was like, you know what? Since I don't have any friends, I'm gonna play all the parts.
Yeah, and so I mean, I would say with the movie, it was a very slow start, and I think we can all agree it was very slow. Like,
Yeah.
It's a lot of, hey, let's rewind that back. All right, this is my backstory. Now I'm stuck on Earth stalking people. And the first like 20 minutes was just him stalking people. No lie.
First 20 minutes, he didn't talk to a single human.
He did scare a turtle though.
Mind you, the runtime of this movie is like 100 minutes. 1/5 of this movie, he doesn't talk to a single human.
Yeah.
So
He has conversations with himself for 20 minutes. Bro.
He did have a racing contest with himself with a police meter.
Oh
Kept
yeah,
him racing
so-
himself. That was kind of funny though.
it's kind of cringe.
It was pretty cringe. He just the officer was just waiting behind, the billboard thing with his
Speedometer.
his gun, his
Yeah.
speedometer, just waiting to see if any cars sped by. So Sonic runs by and it says 290, like 296 or 295, and then he runs up behind the car and he's like 296.
I could
not
beat
enough."
that.
Yeah, so he runs
Does
again
it
and
again.
gets 300 and he celebrates.
So the point of all of this, and they take 15 minutes to sort of develop this point. He develops this parasocial like relationship, like a very one-sided relationship with all the humans in this small town of Montana.
Yeah, he gives them names too.
But eventually, he does something which attracts the attention of Dr. Eggman. So he's playing baseball, like I think Juan or Tyler said, and he gets frustrated. He's like, oh, I'm actually alone. This is kind of depressing. And then for whatever reason, he's like, I'm gonna run fast. Do. And he goes around the baseball field like 1,000 times, and then he just like supercharges. He goes Super Saiyan, and then he takes out all the power in like the state of Montana.
Flash.
Yeah, basically. And then the federal government is like, we gotta do something about this. Let's send in our best man, Dr. Eggman. And they send out this guy, and then we get the best part of this movie.
Oh, yes.
He pulls up in this this big truck, this semi truck. The stairs roll out, and you see like Jim Carrey like twiddling his mustache as he goes up to this military dude and starts pushing him around. I'd say that Jim Carrey was easily like the best part of this movie.
This was his movie.
Easily.
He carried this movie.
They spent $100 million on this movie, and I think probably a fifth at least of the budget went to getting Jim Carrey on this movie. So he comes out of this bus, and then he takes a look around. He's like, "I'm the expert here. I'm gonna find out where Sonic is." And he sends out his little robot goons, and they get to this police officer. I forget what his name is, because
Lord.
Donut Lord. We're
That's
gonna
what
call it.
Sonic
That's what Sonic calls him because he talks to
Tom.
Donut.
Tom.
Tom, that was his name.
That was his actual
Well,
name.
we're gonna call him Donut Lord. He goes up to Donut Lord's house, and Donut Lord is actually stashing Sonic away because
He shot Sonic with a tranquilizer dart.
and
Meant for a bear.
his rings fell through the port. This is all convoluted. It doesn't make sense at all.
So,
But
so basically what
Let's
happened
backtrack a little bit.
we're at the semi truck, and Jim Carrey, he goes up to the general, and he's like, "No, I'm running it now." And so he has this little hand glove thing where he matches the buttons on his hands, and these drones go flying. They go out into the woods, and they look for Sonic. They find a shoe print. And so basically, they're like, "Oh, we know where he is now." And they basically start chasing Sonic through the woods. Sonic then falls into this shed, which is the Donut Lord's shed. He then realizes that he has to leave Earth and throw one of his rings to go to the Mushroom World. But the Mushroom World sucks because there's only mushrooms, no humans, so he'll be bored for the rest of his life. So he debates, but then the
Hence why
Donut
he doesn't
Lord
wanna
comes
go.
in, shoots him with the tranquilizer dart.
and
makes
this
him drop
is the
ring.
stupid part
Oh, yeah,
though,
here's-
because he sees the T-shirt of Donut Lord, and he's like,
Yes.
San Francisco, and then the portal turns into a San Francisco portal, and his rings fall through on the roof of this just tall building. So then Sonic is like, "Damn, we gotta go to San Francisco now. Looks like we gotta have a road trip movie."
And it's all your fault.
And that becomes the whole premise. That's the whole arc of this
Oh, yeah,
movie.
and Donut Lord proceeds to punch Dr. Robotnik in the face when he tries to like come into the
And then he
house
becomes
and-
so salty.
And
Yeah.
he hates
So
it.
salty.
He hates it. He
gets
said the
so
only man
worked
that's
up
ever
over it.
punched him was this bully, but then he made him like so physically like
Incapable.
damaged that he had to drink through a straw.
through his throat.
Or like eat through a straw, not drink through a straw. We all drink through straws, but like eat through a straw.
Beat him up, he had to drink with a straw.
Yeah.
So we're gonna continue to hit the big details. I'm just gonna skip some of the parts for the sake of brevity.
It was a
We go on
highway
a
chase.
road trip. They go to like this biker bar where they pull like a X-Men, like I don't even know, just like origins, like Quicksilver whole
Quicksilver
thing.
moment, yeah.
Yeah, where he like freezes time and he just changes all the shit.
Keep in mind, he was hit with a tranquilizer dart that is slower than like guns and missiles, right? He was hit by it. He wasn't fast enough to dodge, but he's able to go so fast that time stops for this.
I think he was
Quicksilver
just paralyzed. He was scared, man.
moment.
He was a
Nah,
scared
man.
little hedgehog. Our
Scared
our
of a-
little
of a-
Pedro.
of a tranquilizer gun,
Yeah.
but not of a bar fight. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. So Tom and Sonic, they get into all sorts of shenanigans because Sonic's like, Tom's like, "Well, I gotta cross something off my bucket list," and then Sonic's like, "What's a bucket list? I can't wait to kick the bucket." And he's like, he writes his own bucket list, and he has to go and do all those different things, and that's the plot point that sort of carries them through this entire movie. There's various chases. There's like a cat and mouse game with Dr. Eggman, and then eventually they end up in San Francisco, and there's a final climax between Dr. Eggman and Sonic. Looking back on this, like this movie was all filler. It was all filler.
All of it.
Like think back at what happened. Think about the sequence of events. Sonic falls through a portal. He's on Earth now. He's stalking people. Oh, he meets the people because he took out the power. Now he's on a road trip. That road trip gets them to San Francisco. He has that final battle with Eggman. It's literally all filler. Nothing in this movie happens. Nothing happens.
That's kind of true.
Yeah.
So
Nothing. Just no character development. Nothing. It's just
You
them
do
having
you
fun.
do get to see Jim Carrey dance pretty good though. So.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
that was a
that is
golden
true.
moment.
I really want to talk about, I don't care if it's out of order, I want to talk about how Jim Carrey carried this movie. Like, holy shit. Especially, like, that dance scene, like, he put his heart and soul. He was really jiving to that song, dude. Like, I forget what it was called. It was, like, some anarchy song or whatever.
Something about being evil.
Something about being evil.
Great.
He's such a great villain, and you can tell that they have him on for, like, they're gonna make, like, a franchise out of this, and they're, like, gave Jim Carrey the equivalent of those, like, big, like, cartoon bags of money with a dollar sign on it. Yeah. They're like, Jim, we need you on this shit right now.
Boom.
Dude sets the money on the table, and he's like, cha-ching! They got him on the next, like, 3 movies for this bullshit. I want to talk about the cultural references, the product placement too, because that's another big part of this movie.
There was one part where he was talking, and there was, like I said at the very beginning, the Obi-Wan Kenobi little owl. I guess it's like the mentor that came to him. I don't know what that was about. There was also another part where Eggman actually went to the deputy that was Tom's, the Donut Lord's deputy, and so Eggman went to him and was like threatening him, and he was like, so these guys are kind of scary, kind of like Men in Black, but not Will Smith cool, and it was just kind of weird. Like, I don't know.
Did we mention that Tom was a cop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom's a cop. He's Donut Lord.
I don't think we ever mentioned he was a cop, though.
I don't think we did either, but, you know, people...
He's a cop.
He's a tough guy. He's a cop. Yeah. He got a job at San Francisco as a police officer. He wants to help people. That's his whole motive through this entire movie.
So he helps an alien.
Oh, there was like when I see Sonic and like when he was fighting, he kind of reminded me of like Spider-Man. You know, like when Spider-Man fights, how he always like says like a cheesy punchline and then punches them. Or
that's
like
all superheroes though. They're all quipping.
I feel like Spider-Man does it more than like anybody else.
He really does.
But
it's more.
I feel like Iron Man does that bullshit too.
But anyway, back on like Sonic, he would always say things like after like punching a drone, after you punch like a drone or something like that, he'd be like, "Man, Amazon really want to sell these," or like he would say like something.
Did you know that? Oh yeah, that one kind of physically hurt when he said that. He destroyed one of Eggman's drones, and he was like, can you believe that Amazon's gonna be giving you?
I love how the theater was just dead silent. Yeah. The writers of this movie, they thought, oh my god, we're nailing it. The adults are gonna be rolling on the floor. We really got them here. But dead silent the entire time. Not the entire time. There were a couple of good jokes.
Pretty sure the only 100% everybody laughed was the Jim Carrey moments. That was it.
Yeah.
I also had a boomer sitting next to me, and I guarantee you, anything Sonic said or did, she laughed. It was just really weird.
Yeah, that lady sitting to the right of you laughed at every punchline. It was insane. It was insane. I want to talk more about the kind of people that were at this movie theater because there was a lot going on while we were watching this movie. So like the entire for 100 minutes, like bullshit was just happening all across the theater. There was a woman that had gummy bears in her popcorn. Just like sprinkled on the top, like sprinkles on ice cream. Who does that?
Back to this thing that sat next to me. Legit, there was this part where they were on the highway and Dr. Eggman had this giant tank. They blew up the tank, but then a little cart came out. They blew up the cart, but then this little helicopter came out. They blew up the helicopter. And then this little eyeball helicopter came out. And so things kept on coming out, but every time something new came out, she laughed her heart out. Every time. And I was like, lady, you know what's about to happen next. You don't need to keep laughing. It's not that funny. It
was like those Russian dolls where you open it and then another smaller thing comes out. Yeah.
He did that 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? After the car, it was 4 more things.
Same joke, 4 times. Same joke.
She laughed just as hard every time.
Can we talk about the kid that spilled all the popcorn halfway through the movie?
Yeah, I just.
And it was just, all you hear is all the popcorn, and the mom's like, seriously, Jan? Or I forget what it was. It was like, come on,
she
Jacob.
did scold him though. It was so because there was a moment in the movie where everybody was just dead silent, and you just hear the seriously. It was so bad.
Yeah. Oh, it was a packed theater though. Entire theater was filled. I want to get to what your best scene / worst scene was in this entire movie, because there was a lot to unpack here. I think my favorite scene is when Sonic got on the bed. He was excited, so he started flossing, and like I was audibly yes, 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 both times.
Let me just say this: the movie theater was completely silent. Not a soul was making a sound. No popcorn crunches, no slurp of the drinks, nothing. And then all you hear Davis
just going,
yes.
Nobody else reacted to the flossing. Nobody else. It was just me going yes, 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 yes.
Maybe he did that the 2 times. He flossed both times. He was just yes.
That was what I was there for. That's what I was there.
The other time, just to let you guys know, the other time he flossed was whenever he destroyed the giant tank that Eggman had the first time before like the Russian doll things came out. He flossed and he was like, "Oh yeah, take that, Eggman," and then proceeded to floss on his tank. But then another tank came out and he was like, "Uh-oh," and he had to run.
See, we were talking about this after we saw the movie. We thought it would be way cooler if after he killed Eggman, he just like did the Orange Justice instead. Because I would have loved to have seen that 3D model contort and just move in that way, because it wouldn't work at all, and that's why I would fucking own.
It would be more amusing. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that was a missed opportunity. Did we have any other favorite scenes, worst scenes?
My favorite scene, hands down, was the Eggman dance moment. It was just golden. But like more specifically, when he's getting towards the end of his dance and his like Agent Stone comes in and scares the living hell out of him. He's just dancing. He turns around and that man's just there holding 2 lattes and he just screams.
Oh, dude.
My favorite scene probably. It was probably the end, the very end. They did a Marvel kind of thing here. They didn't like after they were at the end. After they were at the end, the credit, the bit credits, whatever it was, that happened
After the credits.
Yeah. But then there was like a cut scene, and the cut scene had these like sparks and a ring showed up, and then Tails, Sonic's friend, actually popped out. And so after it popped out, she was like, "I need to find Sonic," and then flew off. And then also, I guess this is like part of the end, but like I also had Eggman because they pushed him into this mushroom world. And so you had Eggman, he had the giant mustache now, like we all know, bald. And the man picked up a rock and was like, "Come on, Agent Stone," and just chucked him
They're
across
setting up the
multiple
sequel
months.
big time. They want
really, like, there's no doubt that they're gonna make a sequel. Like,
they want
based
the
off of that
expanded Sonic universe.
Really
They want
the
so
same
many
universe.
movies. So let's talk about the expanded Sonic universe, because end of the movie, you see a big portal open up, and you see Tails, Miles, Powers walk out of this portal, and he's like, "Huh, I gotta find Sonic."
No,
and
he has this weird little GPS thing, and he's like, "Sonic must be nearby," and then he proceeds to just fly and zoom out after Sonic, and that's where it ends.
Yeah. Well, and also the Eggman thing, though. Like, that, I honestly, that was my favorite part. I don't know why, but I just loved it because, like, they pushed Eggman into this mushroom world that Sonic was supposed to go to but didn't want to go because it was boring. And so he finally got in the mushroom world, and he was like, if it was a normal person here, they would die. But because I'm the smartest person in the world, I will live. And then picked up one of Sonic's hairs, which actually has, like, electric ability.
What he said, like, specifically, he said, "I'm gonna be out by Christmas."
Yeah,
so,
that's what it was.
which makes me think, 10 months from now, another Sonic movie just releases.
No way. There's no
that
way.
they just like they drop another Sonic movie just out of nowhere. That'd be so dope if they
That
were
would
just
be
like
cool.
That would be kind of cool. Maybe that's
the
what they're
return of
gonna-
Eggman.
I
That's
feel
okay. I feel like if it was the original, if they had the original date like in August or whatever, then they would have done that. They would have had another movie out. But the final cut, they never actually took it out. Hey Brody, welcome. So, for the viewers at home, Brody just got home from his shift at Ace Hardware, and now he's over here. Brody actually didn't watch this movie, but we're actually talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, we are. Brody couldn't see it. He had D&D that day, so
Don't watch it.
it. You know what? We had mixed thoughts on it actually. Tyler thought it was okay for what he was expecting.
I honestly really liked the movie. I mean, like, I don't know why I did, but I did. It was just like, it was a good kids movie. Like, you gotta clearly see that Sonic is meant for like when you think about boomers or like Gen Z, it's probably gonna go to Gen Z because like that's where all the kids are, right? And so that's where everything is, and like. I don't know. It's just like it was a really, really good kids movie, and I just liked it.
Okay.
It was very complete.
I agree with the point that it's good. It's a good kids movie because like I really the only mistakes that like I see in the movie are things that you have to be like
Adult to see.
16 years or above to understand.
Yeah.
Like like, what's a plot hole? You know, like what kid thinks of plot holes when they watch a movie?
And I love like the mysterious, like especially at the end when Eggman came out of this like ring. It was like smoke was fuming and like Eggman was like.
That was like unironically baller
Yeah.
when he when it's the final showdown and then Eggman's flying in his little robot and then
he
all the
comes
guns
out,
pop
yeah.
out and he's got the red lasers that are just training in on Sonic. Unironically, that was kind of fucking dope.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
So for me, if I was gonna rate it on 1 to 10, I'd give it probably an 8 out of 10. That's for me.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Twice.
Yes, not
Okay,
once, but
okay.
twice.
7 out of 10.
We-
7 out of 10.
Yeah, we had a segment on that. Like, it blows my mind that they put that in the movie. We were saying that it would be better if instead of doing the floss, he did the orange justice
Right
instead.
after he beat Eggman.
I would have loved to have seen the way his body contorted, like the 3D, how it rendered or whatever.
What about you, Jay? What would you give it?
I don't know. I think I'm still with my 4 out of 10 that I was thinking of yesterday. There's just too much stuff that didn't add up for me.
I don't know about 4 out of 10. Like this is a watchable movie. I didn't sit there and like think, why am I in this theater? Like no.
I thought about that the whole time. I was like, how did I let him convince me?
Wishing I could go home. Like I was actually intrigued.
I didn't regret spending $10. But of course, if you watch this movie with friends, no matter how bad a movie is,
That
you
is
can
true.
probably
That is
justify it. I would probably give the 5, maybe 6 out of 10. I'm warming up to this movie a little bit. So I also want to talk about how disappointing it is that this came out on Valentine's Day, and people got laid after they saw this fucking movie. There is someone out there that's going to be born 9 months from now that has to reckon with the fact that he was conceived after
the
they
Sonic
watched
movie
the
came out.
Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And you know what? I think it's going to be that 35-year-old woman that I saw crawl out of her Kia Soul to see this movie.
I
can't wait to see Sonic the Hedgehog.
No.
It's going to be that couple. It's going to be that couple.
I mean, it might be the people that were to my left, because it was this couple, it was this woman and this guy, and she was so serious the entire movie. Like that man was gonna have to do something to make it up.
It was
So,
definitely not the lady to my right. 'Cause she's
Yeah.
too old for that. But
Hey.
So the lady was like, "Why did you take me out here?
Yeah.
The sex better be good after
she
this."
She only laughed at the Eggman scene where he danced. The rest of the movie, she just had just resting bitch face the entire time, just watching I really let this man make me waste money on this. Wow.
The sex better be good after this.
Yeah, it better be worth it.
Better not be fucking around with this bullshit. So,
hit her with a 2-inch Punisher afterwards.
2 inches, and he takes her out to see Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's the end.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm out, dude. So overall, kind of crisp. 4, 6, 8, or 7 rather.
yeah, floss.
That averages out to above average, above a 5. So
That is true.
kind of crisp.
As tragic as the Emoji Movie.
I haven't seen
Dude,
it.
the
Never
Emoji
will.
Movie, that was something, dude. I have this really bad habit of seeing bad movies the day they come out. So I watched the Emoji Movie the day it came out. I watched the Slender Man movie the day it came out. And now I've watched the Sonic movie the day after it came out. So I just love watching bad movies and then just shitting on them so much. Yes. It's so great, dude. Dude, when I went to see the Emoji Movie, I went in and then I told myself, I'm not going to laugh at this movie. I'm not going to laugh at this movie. And then first scene, they tell a poop joke or whatever. You see the poop emoji dressing up in a tie suit or whatever. And I start just laughing my ass off. And for the rest of the movie, I'm just cackling like a mad bastard at the back of the theater. I got the corner seats, and I was just laughing back there with Antonia and a couple of her friends. So people thought that I was high as shit at the back of the theater, and I was 100% sober. But people thought I was high as shit because I was laughing the entire time. Oh, I need to start seeing more bad movies because I love it.
I
love
can't.
it.
I get physical pain from watching a bad. Whenever, the thing that had, was just so annoying to me was the amount of times that Sonic went so fast that time stopped, and then the first time
He only did it twice.
No, that's what I'm saying. The first time he got shot and he couldn't dodge it,
Yeah.
And then the second time he completely stopped time. Like nothing was moving.
I hate how
And then the third
inconsistent
time
this
it
game
was
It was inconsistent.
That's
Okay,
what I
wait.
hate about it,
Here's the
bro.
thing though. Eggman had the blue hair, so he was supersonic. He was supersonic.
But his missiles weren't. They should have stopped.
Well, no. He didn't have the blue hair. The blue hair was in the ship. He was sitting by himself.
No, but like
Okay.
he means it was powering his things. So like it should be able to
Eggman.
go fast.
Eggman supercharge. Okay, I want to get past this movie now. I'm done with talking about this fucking
Thank you.
movie.
You're right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I wanted to wish everyone at home a happy late Valentine's Day because we all need a little bit of loving from now and then. On Friday, we went to school and we exchanged Valentines and we let our appreciation known for one another.
We all gave each other candy.
Yeah, every single one of us brought candy, isn't
Every
that right?
single one.
Yeah,
Yep, I
Juan,
definitely
Tyler,
got
they all
one.
brought gifts aplenty for
Okay,
everyone in the
well, if
class.
you're not catching at home, we did not bring gifts. Me and Juan.
Me and him didn't.
Well, we
The
didn't
rest-
know that people were doing it, and so they
Yeah.
came in and started handing us candy. We're like, uh-oh.
Dude,
I didn't really feel love, so like, I'm just kidding.
Caitlin brought us in like an entire bag of candy.
A
I think
drawing.
Megan brought in all the Skittles. I brought in the Fun Dip. It
I
was
brought myself.
raining candy, and best part is all that shit was gone by third period. I ate it all by third
my.
period.
I brought myself. That should be
I
enough.
still have everything in my bag, bro.
So this is the Singles Society of Singles podcast, SOS, I suppose for short. And
I'ma head out.
yeah, no. Instead of focusing on our loved ones, we're gonna focus on the fact that dudes fucking rock. All right, we're dudes. We're dudes first and foremost.
Yo,
So with that being said, how are your love lives going?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
give it a
we're gonna get back on topic now. So what I did with my Friday is I went and I had to go back to the school. I had to pick up my brother because he had soccer practice or whatever. And I go back and then I find out, oh shit, soccer practice doesn't end until 5:30. So I go back into the school. Yeah,
Oh
there's
my
no school
gosh,
night. Dude, it's
bro.
President's Day.
Why didn't we tell him?
Dude,
What
it's
are you
President.
on about?
Did you not know?
But why did we tell him? Why did we tell him? We should have went there and let him
should-
go by
yeah.
himself. Like, why was he in the
I just
parking
got a
lot?
text, so I was
What do you mean we don't have school tomorrow?
Brody, I love you,
Trying
dude.
Trying to get
I
this
love you.
education.
This is chaos.
This is what a dude's rock.
fuck Malden High School. That
Dude's
place
rock.
is shit.
All right. So I go in. I'm like, oh shit, he's not gonna be finished until 5:30, and I'm like, oh, well, my crush happens to be at school right now doing Writers Society.
She's
Ooh.
listening.
No, she's not listening. Nobody listens to this fucking
Are you
podcast.
sure?
Nobody listens to this podcast.
Are you sure?
Our average retention on our videos
Well,
is like
like,
15 minutes.
At the end of the day, it don't really matter. It's just high school. So,
It really don't.
That's true. That's
They
true.
really don't.
So I'm gonna go for. No, I'm just
anyways,
okay, that's enough.
So I'm doing this Writer Society bullshit, and do you know Caitlin's sister,
Oh god.
his boyfriend,
Oh. I
or
know
her
what you're talking
boyfriend?
about that.
Yeah, he comes up to me and he says, "What's up, cutie?" And I go up to him and I just plant just a big old kiss like right on his lips. No
And-
tongue,
And that means
no tongue.
by law for them to that if somebody kisses her boyfriend, she has to kiss that person. Therefore,
She got to kiss me on the lips.
yup.
She got to kiss me on the lips. But what I love is my crush saw me putting a big old kiss right on
On
the
a
lips on this
dude.
dude.
Man.
Yeah, love that.
That's tough.
Why are you such a genius, bro?
Dude,
That's
my
like the long. That's like the just the long game, bro.
my brain is huge.
Meta.
My brain is fucking large. So I didn't get a kiss from Emily though. That's what I was gunning for. That's what I was hustling
You
for.
didn't?
I didn't. I put a big old kiss on Josh's
Yo,
lips and I was
what?
like, "Emily, where's my kiss on the lips?"
they
No,
drug
you know
you.
the rules. You know the rules. Nope, no kiss on the lips.
Wait, I was told you did get one.
Okay, so I kissed Josh on the cheek that morning, and she gave me a little kiss on the cheek.
Oh.
I was like, okay, so if I take this to the next level, kiss him on the lips. Let me see how this game is played, bro.
If I get a tit for tat, I'm gonna get a kit for cat. You know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, right? So that's my Valentine's story. I didn't do anything else that night except watch YouTube and masturbate a couple times, but
I see, bro.
Yeah. So, you guys do anything for Valentine's Day? Anything
I
special?
didn't do that. I'll tell you that much. Nah, man, just like the school, and then
Just school
afterwards,
and that.
I hung out with Kiara and like just
Yeah, that's when you
visited
visited me at
Tyler at
work,
work.
right?
And then
Yeah.
visited Caitlin at work.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
just-
yeah,
it was
yeah,
just
yeah.
chill.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was at work for Valentine's Day, so that was cool. Yeah, a bunch of people came in, and they were just really annoying. I
So
can't
many
stand people. Maybe I can do like another episode on just complaining about people because I got plenty of stories. For instance,
Yeah.
there was just one story.
That'd be good for the boys.
There's just like one story where I just give a little short bit, but we were at work, and so these people came in smelling like weed, like smelled like the straight plant, like it was disgusting. And so they came in, and they were just like, think I want strawberry, maybe, I don't really know. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, so yes? And they're like, I don't know. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get you strawberry. And so I got him strawberry. I was like, what size? And I was like, oh no. And then they were like, I don't know what size. And I'm like, oh my god.
See,
And I was like, I'll get you small. And so I got him a small size and started doing it. And I'm like, do anything mixed in? And I was like, oh no. And they were like, I don't know. What did you like mixed in? And I was like, oh.
See, look, this is the trick with people that come in just completely baked. You don't ask them what you want.
Just give them.
You say,
some.
so you want a small pepperoni pizza, right? And if they don't even want it, they're still gonna say, yeah. And as long as they pay for it, you're good.
Yeah.
That's it.
But no, it gets better, right? So like one of my coworkers came out and they go, man, it smells like weed in here. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, yo, they're baked right now. Yes, it smells like weed. And they, no lie. They start smelling each other. They start smelling each other's clothes. They're like,
yo, is that us?
Yeah,
Bro.
yeah.
That's not us. That's not us.
The girl on the left are smelling the guys on the right's jacket, and they start smelling their armpits, and they're like smelling everywhere. No lie. And I'm like, just over here mixing ice cream, like, oh my god. I'm like trying to get these other guys out of my store. But yeah, that's my Valentine's Day. That's how I dealt with
that's
that.
tough.
Keeping on the same vein, I had a group of homeless
No,
people.
Brody, roll on over here. Tell us your work story.
Oh gosh.
So,
Bring it a little bit closer.
keeping on the vein of weed, I had a group of homeless people. They grew like an entire crop, like outside of Ace Hardware, and we found that shit like after they had picked it and everything. So like we just found all the leaves. So somebody had grown like a full crop. Like a full harvest
Plantation of weed. Holy shit.
Outside of
Outside,
wow,
yeah.
bro.
So what did you do in your life? I built a plantation outside of Hayes
FYI, for my future employers, I do not condone the use of drugs. I would never do drugs, and
Yes,
I
I
do
think-
not even drink.
Yeah, none of us do any of that stuff.
Yeah,
None of us do that. None of
do
us do that.
Yeah,
None of us.
no.
None of us do. We don't do that.
So I mean, Brady, what's our run time looking like? What do we got?
44.
44. I don't know. I mean, we could chant "Dudes Rock" for the next 2 minutes. You guys want to chant
I'll
"Dudes Rock"?
pass.
No.
Fuck you. I'm gonna start chanting "Dudes Rock." So that is this week's episode of the Shy of Six podcast. We enjoyed having you give us a listen. Don't know what's gonna happen next week. I don't know what I'm doing an episode on next week. Maybe we could do a session of D&D or whatever. Maybe we'll do another episode on that. Brody,
Conspiracy
you're
theories.
still conspiracy
We could do that,
theories. Yes, Brody, conspiracy theories.
It's fine with me.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
I'm just the editor.
And let me tell you, if I can come back,
I only ask because you have to sit in on this fucking conversation. I don't want you to have to sit in and be
Something
like,
that you
oh
don't want,
Jesus,
yeah.
I gotta edit this. Davis is gonna say some thug shit. I'm gonna have to edit all this shit out.
Well,
Because I feel like conspiracy theories is gonna be an especially difficult episode for you to make me not sound like I'm an insane person.
oh, Davis, the ship has sailed on that one. The ship has sailed with that one.
I think there's nothing to be done about that.
It's already too late. It's already too late.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Brody, can I convince you to do a cameo in our campaign that we just launched?
I mean, depends on what time, but yeah.
Yeah, because I know you're already involved in like 2 other campaigns, so
Just one.
just one. You know, Brody did like a 6-hour session yesterday. That's why he couldn't come to see the movie with us. He started at like 10 o'clock and then he ended at 4.
4:30.
4:30. 6 hours of D&D.
That sounds like so much fun, though.
Yeah, but like honestly though,
yeah.
like that's the best thing to do.
Shit.
I bet it
Like
went
if
by
we
fast.
didn't have such busy schedules, I would love to do something like that. But as it stands,
We'd be
between my
black
schedule, Juan's schedule, your schedule, and Drew's schedule, we got so much shit on our plate.
Summertime. That's time to do it. Summertime, we will all be free.
Summertime.
I'm gonna be gone for a good week.
You'll be gone.
Spent the majority of the time fighting a black dragon. We
Oh,
did beat it
no.
though.
Oh.
That shit was tough.
Insert now summertime regular show song. You know what I'm talking about with
Okay,
the little
I
like.
will.
Insert now.
I'll do that as the end song.
Yeah, do that.
So, more shameless self-promotion. Go listen to the last episode. We talk about D&D with Tyler Wilson, and we also talk about Juan Luis's character. So, a lot of winning there. Are you sure that I can't convince you to chant Dude Rock and then have it like fade to oblivion?
You convinced me to watch the Sonic movie. No,
I'm down.
You can't.
All right.
Oh God.
Dudes rock. 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 Dudes rock.
It's summertime, and you know what that means. Gonna head out to the beach, gonna do some beachy things. It's summertime, feels just right. Gonna gather all my friends and we'll party through the night. Summertime, love it. It's 11 in the summertime. Summertime, love it. Oh, baby, why can't you be mine? It's summertime, and I just can't wait. Gonna call you on the phone, gonna take you on a date. It's summertime, and I hope you like steak. Gonna take you to a restaurant and eat it at the lake. It's summertime, and love it. It's 11 in the summertime.